Okay, here we are with the alternative reciprocating up and down painting method, and I'm also running into problems here as well. So what happens is it falls down here, and as it falls down it gets painted like that. When it hits the bottom, the sensor trips, and the little lifter comes out and lifts it back up again and paints it up to here. Yeah. The problem is the sensor turns off too soon, and it drops it before it's completely painted. And if I add more sensors, then it's the piston, the thing then stays on too long. Yeah, so it's not painting enough of it. So there's an interesting pattern, and there's the old problem of the block turning up as well, and it's hurrying it along, which is too slow. So the solution to this is what? It's logic gates, I think, is the answer from here. Or no, not a timer. A logic gate up to there. That's the thing where if they're both, if both are triggered, if we have two sensors, they're both are triggered, then you lift. If only one of them is triggered, like the middle one, then they don't. So probably another sensor here. So we do an AND gate where if this one and this one are on, then it lifts, and then it drops down, and then yeah, something like that. So I don't remember how to make my AND gates. I can't remember how to do that now. You know what? I think the dog walker's done it again. It's true, I've had problems. Well, let's see if I've actually got the puzzle right for a start. But this particular problem here, yeah, it's nice I get stuck with this game, and I just let the dog for a walk, and the problem gets solved. Okay, so let's have a think about here. What do I need to do first? I need to do that. Okay, we'll have to see how this works in a minute. So the idea is pushes. What I want to do is, oh god damn it. Sorry, I just remember this thing has to be maybe I can move this further out and it will still work. We'll see. We need a floating block so it drops down and can be moved around. Okay, so maybe it starts here then. Oops. Okay, it gets to there, it gets pushed into the air. Now, when it reaches the top, which is there, the sensor trips, and the pusher pushes the thing out the way. So now the lifter's gone, it's free to drop down again. Now when it gets to the bottom, The second sensor, which I think I can put here. I think something might be going wrong there, but we'll find out that in a minute. And the second sensor pushes it back in again, and it starts lifting again after it's been pushed forward by this conveyor. Yeah? No. There we go. Right. Are we falling too soon? What's going on here? What am I doing wrong here? Okay. Paints the blocks. Ah, it's not high enough. Okay. Don't know how I missed that before, but there you go. I presume this has got to be higher as well then. Doesn't matter if that does at the start. It probably doesn't anyway. Okay. So at some point we're going to run out of time. Yeah, okay. So I figured we'd run out of time at some point because of the speed the other block's coming in. But this is working. Some of these are triggering a little bit early, which is frustrating, but I don't think it matters that much because they're pushing dry on there. They're not actually doing anything. So now we need to know when to pull this block out of here. We want this to be, when this thing gets removed and sent around the back to be, the last few pieces to be coloured in, we want this to be back in its original position. Yeah. So I would suggest at this point here, maybe only after 2 passes. Maybe at this point here it needs to be drawn away. Maybe. So does that mean I need a conveyor belt here? It's not the right place. It doesn't actually matter. I don't think it matters. Well, okay, sorry, idle thoughts to myself. At this point here, I suspect I want to take it away here, actually. Interesting. I think this is done ugly, and it probably is not efficient to do it like over here, but there's probably an easy way of doing it, but I don't know what it is. So I'm just going to stick with it for now and try to clean it up later. The point is, for now, we've got this thing in the right place, I think. So it wants to drop down at this point here. We'll see what happens. We'll see if make it drop in the right place, and then we can do the other painting. No, because I've put the conveyor in the wrong place. Okay, are you going to drop at the right time? I think you're actually going to drop slightly early. You are. But that is fine too. We don't care about that. have to move that sensor out of the way later, we'll have to see. Okay, so you're going to drop to there. And then the same thing, when you hit the bottom, yeah, that thing's in the wrong place, but we'll deal with that in a minute. When you hit the bottom, we want a sensor that introduces a lifter to push you back up again. Okay, well we're doing, it's getting there. It's getting there, isn't it? So we can put a conveyor in here. And another sensor that will take out that lifter again. Because I don't have to go quite as... Oh! Right, what's gone wrong there? What have I added that's now wrong? Am I in the way? What I didn't change very much. What have I changed that stopped that working? The piston's not triggering it anymore. I haven't changed anything. That's a bit strange. Oh! Oh, this is in the way. Is that going to be a problem? Probably not, but we'll see what happens, shall we? We get an inefficient pass off of this. I could move this further. I don't actually need to be here. It can be further over. Can't it? Yeah, it can. It doesn't need to be here, this conveyor. I wanted it up that high, didn't I? Like that. Why am I putting it as high? It doesn't need to be that high, does it? It can be lower, can't it? That's what it is. Another sensor. Now, I'll be careful about clashing things here with the wires getting in the way. I'm going to do another pusher down here that's going to push this back out the way. No, it's not in the right place. Yeah. How the heck am I going to... Oh, I could use wires all the way through, actually. I could use wires like this. They're supporting wires as well as anything else. I think we're going to run into a problem over this side, but we'll see. See, at this point here, oh, something's happened there. I've missed. I think my timer's off. I've missed a row of paint. A column of paint, rather. Falls, painting. Rises, painting. and it goes too far. Sensor needs to be earlier, I think, is the answer. We can probably put a sensor here. Like that. Oh, suddenly interested in the ceiling. I thought something was up there for a second, like walkways. I think it's all painted now. It is. So at that point there, when it hits here, it needs to hit a rotator there. I think. I think we might be out of sequence for the last part, but we'll see. I just want to check something. Why are you missing? Hold on a second. What is your problem? You didn't think I didn't notice you going wrong, huh? Why have you not painted that section? What? It falls down. It misses one. Why does it miss? Why do you miss one? Oh, is it because the piston's not back and not reset? Okay, so we need... Okay, we need a reset switch for this. So when this sensor goes off, I suspect we need to trigger that one of the pushes as well. Hold on a second. So when that sensor goes off, that triggers that one, we need to trigger this one again to put it back. Okay, so what we can do, that one there. Yes, it is getting uglier and uglier. You're right. Thank you for that helpful observation. We'll find something prettier later, okay? Possibly. This might not matter. It might be okay like that. Let's see what disaster happens from me doing random wiring. Possibly nothing. Okay, it's working again. Right, okay. Like you ever doubted me. Okay. We want a single... Just to move it a little bit further. And we need to turn it around again. Well, we could do that at this stage here. If we do... We're going to beautify it all later. Gussying will occur. Right, okay, so now it does that. We want another conveyor belt. In theory, this should be the easier bit. Of course it will. All we need is a sensor. Okay. When it arrives here, we need a sensor that shoves it towards this briefly to get a single spot in the middle, and then off it goes. Although we are too low, though. We've got to bear that in mind. Okay, we'll come to that in a minute. What we can do is we have a lifter here. But we can have a lifter here, really. We want it to push it in and then stop it again. It goes back to what it's doing. But only one push. So I know how to push it, but how do we only push it once so it gets removed again and then goes back to oh, I know. Okay, we need a sensor here. Right, sensor triggers here. The whole thing gets pushed forward one. And then when it hits here, it hits a rotator that flips it away and therefore can't get pushed in again. Although, actually causes a problem. Because I would clash with the... Or would I clash? Maybe not. Okay, let's see what we can do here. Okay, I can see potentials for clashes elsewhere. But in theory, we might have done it. Yeah. Okay, the last rotation of spinning it around and lining it up with that is kind of simplistic, so we won't worry about that for now. Okay, so now we're stuck over here. So we need a reset switch here as it leaves. So we can do that. Okay, let's go back to... Okay, what we can do here is... we can have a sensor down here. Look at me working on the floor. Like some sort of peasant. Which one do I need to trigger? Which sensor do I need to reset? Of course, if I did a better design, I probably wouldn't have to reset things. But I think I'd have to reset at least one of them. That one there. Okay, so we put a wire across here. And after I've got this working, I'll have a think about how we can modify it to make it better. Or less crap, I think is the term I'm looking for here. Let's see if the second one's coming out the same. I think we have a non-degenerative system. We do. Okay. It will continue running until it's done. Right, let's do the last movement of this. What's the best way to rotate this? There's two ways of doing it. So you can flip it on an axis so it immediately lines up with this perfectly, but you might need to use pushers like this to do it, or you just flip it a damn thing around and then you wiggle it a bit with conveyor belts. So at this stage we've won. Yeah, we've achieved what we wanted to do. So the question is, can I win better? Now, of course, look at this god-awful bloody mess. The answer is yes. I can see a couple. So we can do the standard cleanup of like reducing where all the pipes go and how many blocks we've got, and efficiency with wires, that kind of thing. However, there's another point to think about here, which is, could I do this slightly differently and therefore make it better? For example, at the moment here, we colour 4 columns and then we take the thing away. What if I did 5 or 3? Yeah, because we need to do it. If we did less, we'd have the well, we might still have the reset require. I don't know. Reset of the switches. Would that be better? I think probably having 4 then 3 versus 3 then 4 doesn't really make any difference. It's no odds as far as we're still doing the same amount of work. We're just flipping it around. That would be a waste of effort to do that. What we can possibly do... Have I already done this already? Hold on a second. I don't know, because we've got the bottom line kind of thing, because how I passed it across the thing. Can I make this more efficient where I don't... I'm already doing that. I've already. Okay, I'm not trying to colour the bottom row back in again, which is fine. So in that case, I think it's a matter of the area is always garbage. I always make terribly spread out solutions. They do. I always get mixed feelings when I complete these, because I like the fact that I've beaten it, and I'm immensely frustrated by knowing it's not a very good solution. And there are hundreds of people out there, more likely, that have found neater solutions, and I look at their solutions. I try not to, but I do occasionally. I look at their solutions and die a little bit inside of wishing, why can't I be as good as that? I never seem to learn anything from them. But there you go. Frustrating. Let's try and do a clean-up, shall we, of this dreadful mess. Okay, I think I've improved this dreadful bloody mess about as much as I can. I'm sure there are lots of amazing ways to refine this to make it more efficient. But in the end, you know, I've done it, I guess, in my own terrible way. I did it my way. Please feel free to sing that. I won't do it to you. That would be unfair. Yes, I'm still interested. I'm going to have another think about the pass system. Okay, so my biggest question here is probably, damn it, I didn't want to do that. Did I need to do this over here? I could probably have made this simpler. The rotation system, without having these pistons, I could have made that a bit simpler and maybe made less of a mess of wires. Because it's the sensors that are making mess of wires over here. I could probably have done it just by flipping around more carefully. That could be my next improvement. I might do that. I might make another copy which does that. In which case, if I do, I'll stick it at the end of the video. Otherwise, the question is still for me, what about the long pass method? Row to row, you know, swiping across the rows. I should definitely look at that again, but I'd have to think about, you know, how to do that. Yeah. And I'm not sure yet. But in the meantime, let's see my garbage score versus everybody else, which is usually slightly worse than average is typically what they achieve. Speed's good though. I didn't get my usual trip up of... Obviously I faffed around a bit at the start trying to get the right method, but I didn't get tripped on my usual thing, which is... See, there you go. Slightly worse than slightly worse than average. I didn't get tripped up by the repetition of how fast these things are coming out, which is something I've related before again and again. My cycle scores, actually that is something that typically is. My cycle score's quite good. And then people have found simpler ways of doing it. Smaller footprints, which could just be down to removing all those awful sensors. And then the block score. It's the simplicity of the block score that I have trouble with. I mean, again, do I want to look at an answer? I don't think I want to look at an answer. I got there in the end. I think I will be. That's my usual result. So let's just go with that, shall we? No, I don't want to do that. I want to. What I want to do is probably. I want to delete. How do I delete this one again? I can't remember. I want to delete this one. And then copy it across. I'll look at it later. Puzzle life support. Can we have a little look what a life support system is? Complicated, it looks like. We've got a big block of stuff. It looks like a set of speakers. It's like a speaker. So do some DJing. And over here we have cameras. I don't know, and some pillars. And we need to do an interesting chopping exercise to take out the middle pieces, reduce those and shove them in, but they're double height, so I guess maybe we can take them in pairs. Are they coming out as a 4? Yeah, we have to do some interesting cutting to take this out. And then what would we do next? I guess we would look at... We've only got... interesting. We've got 4 of these, but only 2 of these. And here's the others. Okay. So we have to bring those together. We'd probably... I don't know. Maybe we'd weld... We're going to lose part of this. We're going to weld these to these. But then how would you array them so they drop into the right place? That's a good question. Good question, Lee. How are you going to do that? Oh, I don't know, do you? But I can already envision some ideas about how to process this. Yeah. Okay, well, next time. I'll do this one next time, yeah? Next time. Not this time, next time. Thanks for watching. Take care of yourself and my awful constructions. I'll see you again next time.